Oh, it's a cold day where I am, and so I am here with this cozy blanket on me. Today, I'm here to talk and channel on various conditions, states of our body. I don't want to call them disease. It's a not feeling ease in your body. Yes, that is true, but they tend to be weighed down as labels with heavy collective stories is also what I find. And my hope and intention through the channeling through our collective Akashic records is that if you experience some form of dis-ease, um, something that relates to the condition I'm about to channel on, that the messages that come through help to shift your personal story, help to shift our collective story around it. Um, I will caveat I am not a licensed professional, medical professional. And so, um, if any healing, any steps come through, take that under advisement. Go to a licensed professional to support you through any steps you choose to take. I'm saying all this without knowing what will come through. A part of me I will acknowledge is nervous that who am I to guide someone on this? And yet, I do strongly, deeply believe that we all, especially in the medical practice, um, as someone who comes from a family of many doctors and healthcare professionals, I do find that that space has become an industry with many more capitalistic intents, at least in the worlds that I've lived in. And it's disconnected from intuition, from emotions, from feeling, from practices that take us into our body and nervous system, and tends to be treated in this acute way. Like, all right, let's slap on this solution and feel better soon, than always treating the root cause. And so I expect that there will be more of the root cause that comes through if you want to build on this message through your own intellectual research that's rooted in some spiritual practices. I invite you to search for the metaphysical meaning of any health condition that you might find heavy or experience difficulty around. Just using the term metaphysical meaning can give you some more insight. From Louise Hay is one who's written the book Heal Your Body, talks about the emotional, I would call it psychosomatic root of all, any ache, pain, or more in any part of our body. And while I haven't necessarily healed some part of me deeply through that information, it has always provided an insight and resonated. Even learning about different teeth that have had trauma stored with them, there's like a metaphysical meaning of each tooth as well in our mouth. It's fascinating. There are practitioners who specialize in that too. So I'm here trusting that I will channel something that's helpful, meaningful, significant, that I hope just by shifting our story, it can shift so much. And so without further ado, I invite you to um, maybe gather some crystals, light a candle, set some sacred space for yourself to receive. If all that feels hard and inaccessible, if you need to keep your body moving as you tidy up, as you drive, as you listen, just stay active and conscious if you are taking care of someone, moving, driving around. But you can still receive the magic of this recording, of this message as well. All right. With that, I'm just going to check technology, bring my crystals closer to me, and let's dive in together. I also just want to hold space for if this feels like too much activating, maybe it feels like too much of a good thing, or you feel very attached to, oh, this will solve everything. I invite you to Bring to mind, yes, I think it's so much, everything is possible in a field where, the Akashic field, all probabilities exist in the collective. And we do live in a world of duality. And I think it's very important that we be okay with, yes, we can feel a huge shift and it feels like nothing much happened, as I'm feeling that for myself too. Like, what if I open the records and nothing profound happens or comes through that shifts my own thinking? And so with that, I'm checking in with my guides as I have my crystals and set up my space. Um, I'm hearing and getting a clear yes to focus on conditions and diseases and difficult states of our intestine. It's something that I've journeyed a lot through in the last, I don't know, so many months. I've had, just to share, um, without being TMI, uh, that I have had two bouts of gastroenteritis, food poisoning, as I've traveled much more in the past year. Unpleasant and like frustrating because, of course, when you're traveling, it's usually for vacation or work. You have goals in mind that are not to sit and lay back. But I also set the intention that this will support anyone who's dealing with any kind of difficulty with their intestinal digestion, assimilation process. Could be irritable bowel syndrome or IBS, could be Crohn's disease. It could be some kind of allergy to something you eat. I have some of those too. Nothing significant, but enough that it's annoying and frustrating. It could be to dairy or gluten or what is coming to mind? Nightshades, eggs, nuts, and more. Some of these reside from, I'm hearing, like our microbiome, our gut bacteria. And so I feel like this is something that we live with an ecosystem in our body. And sometimes there's energetic realignment and even just understanding of what's going on. So with all that framed and stated, I invite you to bring your intentions. What would you like to receive? How would you like to heal yourself? Because we are all very powerful. One of the biggest things I have received from activating my intuition and energetic gifts is a belief in the unseen, unknown, and covered in chills, but trusting myself beyond the world. Like I know and I trust my body, my system, my brain, my intuition. Like it has activated a level of inner power that I never thought possible and has created so much grounding within me. And I understand how destabilizing it can be when you are not able to trust your body in some way, when it feels hard, when it's not doing something it's supposed to, just based on how everyone else lives their life. So I empathize and I send you love for your experience. And I trust that there will be meaning and hope and support in whatever comes through. If you need to, take a journal out, write down your intention, solidify that in the 3D. If you're like, I thought of it, I know what I want, I know what I desire, have the courage to desire a different experience, is what's coming to mind as well for me to tell you all. And let's breathe. Inviting you now to slow down your body and your breath if that's accessible to you and you're able to. Inviting you to close your eyes and feel into your body, all parts of you. Can you take your inner eye and travel from the top of your head, and just as if there are two pencils within your body, just tracing the edge from the top of your head around your face, down the sides of your neck. It's as if you can feel the edge of where your body meets the air all around you, the environment around you. Can you let yourself feel that? Let yourself take these inner pencils and trace down your arms all the way to the tips of your index fingers. And it traces back to the other side of your arms, through your upper arms and armpits, and now tracing down the sides of your torso, your chest, your diaphragm, your belly, your pelvic region, your reproductive organs. And now the pencils have split and they've become four, two on each side of your body, tracing the sides of your torso all the way from your groin and down your thighs and legs, including your knees, all the way past your ankles, down your feet, meeting all pencils now meeting at the tips of your two great toes. And now these pencils merge back from four to two and then burrow down deep into the earth. They drill down, having so much strength. I'm hearing how it's a pencil's made of carbon, just like a diamond, and it can be strong too. It's a frequency, it's energy. And so you see these pencils, energetic, imaginary, yet real somehow, drilling down, diving down, flowing through nooks and crannies and gaps in the earth, moving past roots of so many trees and plants, through molten rock, lava, and more. They reach the center of the earth. They meet a beautiful, magical lake. Imagine it and all the colors that it shows up in at the center of the earth. A beautiful cave that's dark yet so lit up with the color of this water. To me, it seems pink and blue, kind of melding and merging into each other. These pencils drop in and draw on this energy, seeing the swirls of pink, blue, and whatever other colors show up for you. Travel up through this path created by these energetic pencils and let it come up, filling your body up. You've traced a container within your body, and so now just feeling the whoosh of energy, just imagining this water energy flow up, cleansing and clearing and uplifting all parts of you as it fills you up all the way to the top of your head, lingering and soaking in even more deeply in spaces that need it and receive this cleansing, this washing, and feeling the water gently spill out from the top of your head and cleansing your outer body and filling up your space. It's as if you're now floating in a water body. I see pink on my right and blue on my left, and I can breathe in this watery space, feeling a smile spread across my face and inviting you to do the same as you feel the love and the blessings of Mother Earth come through. Thanking you for receiving, thanking you for letting go, for you can release all your stress and tension down through the path that the pencils created, and receiving the love and the energy that the earth is sending up to you. Breathe deeply in through your nose and out through your mouth. Well, with that, I'm feeling the call to open up the records. You're welcome to keep your eyes closed or gently open, whatever is least distracting as you tap into this message energetically with me. I'm pulling up the Akashic Record prayer now. Of the light we see all around us, trust that you can connect deeply within, trust that you can connect deeply throughout, and trust that you can connect deeply above and below. This is the path to connect. Connect to the space above, the ground below, and all the energy and beings that you channel through at this time. This is the way, this is the space, this is the energy that you feel. Trust and connect and let it all be revealed. Set aside yourself, set aside your doubts, set aside any concern. Let yourself feel the energy of unconditional love. This is the magic. This is the beauty. This is the essence of the records. Trust that you are within them, part of them, one with Him, now and always and forevermore. Say this prayer and all will be revealed, past, now, and all future possibilities. Say this prayer, say these words, and trust that you are delivered to the doorstep to love. Deep connection of knowing and understanding who you truly are. This is the space. Welcome. The Akashic Records are now open. And I'm just taking a moment to orient to the space, and I invite you to do the same as well. Um, I find that every time we sit with intention and meditate and connect to our guides, to our angels, to our loved ones, ancestors, ascended masters, gods, goddesses, other non earthly beings, is what comes to mind. Um, that it strengthens that connection. And I invite you to receive that strengthening through this space and this practice as well. I also want to acknowledge and note this is a very human thing, but I realized, oh, the nail paint that my daughter put on my hand has really started to peel. So hope that was not too distracting. I just noticed that. um, and I'm feeling the call to drink some water. You have access to that. I recommend doing that too as we continue to channel. And I invite the energy of patience in. I know sometimes when I have urgency to consume information, knowledge, wisdom, I can get antsy if there's like slow phases like this. Myself as the guide, the receiver, and even someone who consumes information, a lot of information in a day. I love it. And I can get impatient and inviting you to breathe into the practice of slowing down because it can help us speed up so much in receiving, in learning, in flowing, and finding alignment. Ooh, all right, let's check in. How do the guides wish for us to receive today? So I'm starting to see a energy ball. It looks like a golden, yellowy golden ball of light in our, I would say, our gut region. So it's right around where your intestines are, very close to your reproductive organs. It's situated there. Um, More in our sacral chakra is what it feels like. And I'm just sitting and watching this energy ball. I can hear the hum of its energy as I'm looking at it. Like, hmm, hmm. If that sound comes through my microphone. And I'm feeling called to travel into the energy ball and inviting you to travel with me as well. Are we going into our individual energy balls in the space? Imagine yourself shrinking down this miniature, tiny version of you that can energetically climb into this energy ball. It's like a huge, massive room. You've shrunk so much, and yet the space is also so big. And you're in this echoey chamber. You can hear it and feel it. There's a much more solid texture as you look all around. It's not diffuse. It's not um like I would have thought an energy ball feels more flowy, but it actually feels very solid now that I'm inside. And I'm actually reaching out with my hand and touching the wall. And if you're in your own guided practice too and following me, see what that texture feels like. Is there something unique or different for you as you're feeling into the wall of this energy ball? And see how big or small that ball looks like to you in the space. Does it have a texture, a color, a sensation? And how does it feel? Does it feel inviting to be there? Does it feel uh, um, scary, uplifting? Does it create a general feeling of anxiety or unease? Is what's coming to mind. And so, invite you to sit with that, be with that. If it feels like I'm not getting anything, or you're starting to feel anxiety around, oh, I need to get something, I invite you to breathe and just be. We receive when we can be open, when we can trust. And that is also trusting when nothing is coming through and it feels quiet. That is also a practice of receiving, because just as much as we need to tune into when information is coming in, we need to attune to when information is not. And so, be with that. You might be surprised. A thought may come in, a memory may come in. Be in your practice. But this is very much a healing practice for you, custom to you. I can be a guide, but I can only record one version of what wants to come through. That's guiding us as best as possible as a collective. The guides wished for me to state that as I'm coming back into the space and feeling and noticing and wondering what is it about this energy ball, this energy center that our guides wish for us to know. Is this our sacral chakra? Ooh, yes, I'm getting like a very emphatic yes because I felt all these chills. Um, and I'm not quite sure yet what was the point of us traveling into the energy ball and feeling into it. Um, let's see how this information comes through. I'm hearing and feeling how noticing the texture and the quality and the boundaryness, it's an interesting word, um, of this energy center proclaims how the space physically feels for you. Does it feel open and diffused? Does it feel solid? Does it feel rigid, like steel almost? Um, does it feel almost like a membrane and like kind of soft, but also like solid? Um, they're saying the center requires a bit of both. It requires solidity, it requires boundaryness. Keep using that term. The center is so important, and the space is so important in your body to transport, to send unwanted waste things. I'm pausing because I'm like, that's sophisticated as language you came up with. Well, as my brain's also translating energy into words here. So maybe that's what my brain came up with. And they're laughing and saying yes. Um, yeah. And I'm seeing how, like, it's almost this, uh, it almost felt like a canal. I don't want to say sewage canal, but kind of is. But it doesn't look like that. It just feels like there's water, and they're reminding me how we had all this water energy come through in our upfront meditation. Like the energy of water is very important for this space because it ensures that there is flow. But at the same time, you need solidity, you need the boundaryness, because how else can a canal work unless there is like a structure, a shape that allows for things to flow? And so we're reminding you and asking you to notice in your life, um, where is it that you are not feeling flow? Where is it in your life that you're not feeling boundaries or structure? Like the dynamic of the two will determine how those two energies meld, join, combine in the space. Any imbalance in your life shows up here in your gut. They're saying this, of course, many factors, so many factors that influence how you feel in your digestive region. So they're saying some people are too rigid and too like boundaried and closed up in their energy, and that can show up as constipation. And some people are too flowy, and it can show up as like this irritable bowel that just always acts up, and like there's a flow that's not well contained and controlled, and is unwilling to absorb because it absorbs so much from others because there's this lack of a boundary, is what they're saying. So, I want to explain to you and show to you this energetic route such that you can be in observance. We invite you to journal. Oh, I am covered in chills that are making my arms move. I just want to acknowledge that if it is starting to look a little strange as I'm kind of jerking and moving around if you're watching me. Um, and I'm going back to what they're saying is to journal. Like, where is it in your life that you feel that you don't have the right level of boundaries? Where is it in your life that you feel like you're not finding the right level of flow? They go hand in hand with each other. You will not find flow unless you set the right kind of boundary, and you will not find. I got the feeling of, ooh, chills. And sometimes too much of a boundary feels like a closed space and you're not going to see flow as well. So they're saying it's a delicate balance. It's a delicate balance. I'm getting the sense they're not going to tell anything else medically, which I appreciate. That is a helpful boundary for me too, because I'm not qualified to relay that information and don't want to put you in a situation where this is me, not the guides, where it feels like, oh, this is the one way and the only way. I feel personally that everyone's medicine to heal is unique and different, and what will be super helpful for one is not at all helpful for the other. And the guides are reinforcing that in that over here too. Some of you have a very closed energetic space here, and you will see it. It will show up for you visually in that way or as a sensation in that way. And some of you have a very flowy open space. And if you are, they're inviting um, in addition to the journaling right now, you can start to create reinforcement. Should it feel too open and flowy, can you start to build a wall, a ball of energy there? It almost feels like I'm laying bricks, but they're like slices that make up the wall of this ball. It rhymes and it's kind of fun. And they're saying that if you're feeling the energy flowing too much, creating a container can really help. It can help concentrate the energy for you. And that is a good thing. They're saying if you are someone who's feeling a very rigid wall, a ball that feels tight, or it might show up as a cylinder or some other shape that's unique and personal to you, they're saying you can create softening. Like you can let your hands run. Maybe you can pour something on the wall. Maybe you can just ask your guides, your higher power, whatever you call them, to come in and create that softening. They're saying this subconscious work will percolate into your 3D reality and it'll be reinforced by the journaling you do. So, will you, are you ready to journal in this way? Invite in understanding around where are you finding flow or not? Where are you feeling boundaries or not? I'm taking a moment to pause the guides and acknowledge at some point once I have channeled for a client about a digestive issue. It's been some years now. And so I just remembered all of that as this canal like visual had come in because I had gotten a similar visual. And it's making a lot of sense for that person and what came through, that they had a lot of flow and not enough boundaries. And there was a big invitation to find rest in nature, to take in less energy because there was so much intense, good creative flow in their day to day work life, but to find those gaps and spaces. So the guys are saying like you will find your individual support and practice that helps you, that heals you. You are that powerful. And then I feel like they're also saying, and if you'd like more support in understanding what's most supportive at an energetic level to find this flow and boundariness, that I'm more than happy to guide you through a shorter recorded reading, or if you'd like to have more back and forth, that we can do it through a longer 90-minute container where we spend time, commune with your high power, and see how they wish to invite you into a practice, some kind of healing, supportive practices that are usually much more simple than you would imagine. I come into these sessions thinking, oh, there'll be this cool, like, thing that we get to do that will be a recommendation from the guides, and it will be the easiest, simple thing to like regulate your emotions using some kind of tapping or um, very straightforward practices. And then there's always the option to we can do a container to integrate, but that's all an invitation. I feel like my guides were like, okay, and you can invite them in to receive that kind of support. And the door is open should you wish for that. But they're also saying, you're so powerful. You can practice, you can do this. If you felt called to experience this with me, then you can certainly guide yourself through. And also, my human self is like, and we all need support. I've certainly leaned into support too. So I want to pause and see, how does all that land for you? Does that resonate at some level? Does that bring to mind areas of your life where you feel too closed up and too boundaried in some way, in your life? And are there places in your life where you can find more flow, um, or it feels too flowy and that's where the energy needs to be contained? Ask yourself these questions. I will put that also in the notes as well, so it's easier for you to logically contemplate after you're out of this session, reading, receiving, collective shifting. I'm going to pause and see if there's anything else. All right. And so, in summary, I'm getting here are the questions that you can take into a journaling practice. One, where in your life are you feeling like you don't have enough boundaries and things are flowing in too many different directions, or there's too much energy in that place in your life? It feels anxiety provoking or stressful or overwhelming is a sign that it needs more containing. Question one, that was. Question two is, where in your life do you feel too closed up, too boundaried, not receiving the energy you'd really like to be receiving, not connecting with the right people or receiving the right kinds of opportunities, or not finding, here's this next idea or project, be it at home, family, at work, other responsibilities in your spiritual practices, whatever it might be. Ask yourself that question too. And then three, ask your guides. And this can be an automatic writing practice. When you're journaling, if you journal with, I'm hearing some kind of calming music, you have a candle going on, you create this kind of sacred space, you will be able to channel to answers through your higher self, through your guides, from your soul. How is it that I can shift the energy around these? How is it that I can shift the energy around these? They're saying it's not a you flip two switches and it will all be solved, but they're saying like this is a practice of awareness. And when you bring awareness to all of these things, it helps to shift the energy because you're bringing this neutral observer perspective to it all rather than weighing yourself down with the shame, the burden, the frustration of how you feel about your body. And that can start to shift and heal so much within you. Just this exercise can start to shift and heal so much within you. Ooh. So I'm feeling like the message is complete. And I invite you to set an intention for yourself if you're able to right now. Is there a time and place that you can do this journaling? Maybe it's on the weekend, maybe it's on a weekday, an evening. Is there a dedicated time that you can find for yourself when you already are doing some kind of writing or processing? Maybe you already have a journaling practice. Maybe it's very spontaneous and flowy, like me. um, and I'm reflecting personally, maybe I can do this on a Sunday afternoon, or if not, by Sunday night. Like, find a time, a place, a location. I'm going to be on my bed. I usually do write some journaling notes in my phone when it prompts me. And I'll set a reminder for myself and see how my body feels at that time to lean into it. Make a commitment to yourself to receive, make a commitment to yourself to heal. And with that, I am going to close up the records, and I'm very grateful to you all for journeying with me. I thank the magic of the space. I thank all the energies and beings that I channeled through at this time. I give gratitude to everything that came through. The records are now closed. The records are now closed. The records are now closed. And so it is with love and gratitude. Taking a deep breath and exhaling out, sending so much love and gratitude to yourself, your higher power, your body, and all those who circled with us to receive today. Thank you for journeying with us. Thank you for journeying with me. Sending you love and lots of healing and grounding support from your guides. I feel them all smiling at us and thanking us for receiving this message.